Deadass, it's not even the fact that it's like calling me out. It's the fact that it's like just straight up acknowledging it. When I was growing up, they didn't acknowledge that. They just said, "Oh, here's a cartoon character who sometimes does stuff that you does." Yeah, it's a cool thing. Like Tigger, like a lot of ADHD kids latched on to Tigger, but he was never he wasn't made to resemble he wasn't made to resemble ADHD. He was made to be hyper.
Down by adding roof.
Oh, absolutely. The super duper loopy looper bounce. How's it going, Tube Tech students? I almost called your dream team. How's it going, Tube Tech students? It's your boy Diddles.
Yo, what's up?
And welcome back to the Just Talk podcast. I would once again like to direct your attention to the art you're seeing on screen right now, drawn by the wonderful Art Meth. I've just now realized I've never shown Diego the art we're going to be using. That's not a breath. Hang on.
I'm hanging.
Hang on. Oh, he's gone.
How many people you talk to, bro?
Too many, because I can't find who I need. Art. There we go. That thing. Boom. To the wonderful art we are using for the podcast.
Does it say bio?
Broadside Beach.
Oh, do that.
On the wall, you have Sweetie Rules. Can't read that, but that's okay. I love him. Fuck does that say? Fuck does that say? Fuck is that? That's the microphone we're using. Diego and I have switched jackets, not just in the picture, but in real life too. I'm currently wearing his hoodie, and he's wearing my hoodie.
That's just not true.
No, it's true. We have embraced our gay side.
I'm not gay.
We are... You don't have to be gay to embrace your gay side, honey. I don't know why I tried to stifle that laugh as if I wasn't done with the you laugh, you lose already.
It's been done.
Yeah. But yeah, welcome to the Just Talk podcast. We haven't done one of these in a while. It's been forever since Diego's been on here. I got tired of coming up with excuses as to why he wasn't on here. Gave him syphilis, AIDS, died in a fire, got hit by a tree driving at 60 miles an hour. You weren't driving 60 miles. The tree was driving 60 miles an hour.
I figured, yeah. As they do.
But luckily I was able to take him to the doctor, and they were like, "This nigga again?" And I was like, "Look, I just need you to get him ready because we're actually going to do the podcast." And they're like, "You say that every time." And I'm like, "No, I seriously mean it this time. We're on our way to the recording booth, aka my bedroom right now." And he was like, "Nigga, you record in your bedroom?" I'm like, "I'm surprised that you weren't surprised I'm taking him to my bedroom." And he was like, "Nigga, it's 2022. I don't care." And Diego mustered the last of his breath to be like, "Help!" And so they took him in the operating room. They fixed him up. I put him in the car, dodged several bullets as I was driving home, because as you know, I'm wanted by the Las Pegasus Mafia. So here we are.
You really just said that?
Yeah. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? I'm sorry, I keep getting glimpses of Pony Thread Simulator in the background, and it's so distracting.
I'm sadly here.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten.
You totally are hungry. We should
ditch the podcast.
We totally should. You know what? Let's make this podcast mobile. We're going to absolutely just
We're not.
No, don't play that audio. I'm not trying to get a cease and desist from Disney. I drew them, by the way.
I saw on Twitter, yeah.
I love them. I love Jack. Jack is such a good person. That's a good dog. A good boy. Sound like me clapping his cheeks.
Why does it sound like that?
He has issues.
So do you.
Yeah. That brings us to the topic of today's podcast. Diego, would you like to tell them what the topic is?
I don't know the topic. What's the topic?
Oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and look it up. The topic for today's podcast is children's entertainment. We're going to be...
I forgot. I genuinely... Maybe I have issues.
Yeah, we're... Adhd Yeah, and this all stemmed from me hanging out in the Discord server, link in description, as always.
Shameless plug.
Oh, well, first of all, I'd like to give a shout out to our newest patron, Vega. Thank you for subscribing to the Patreon, $10 a month. I'll make sure to come to your house and brap in your sink. But last night in the Discord server, we were just browsing Disney Plus, and I was like, "Oh, isn't there this new show for kids called Bluey?" And Sweetie was like, "Oh yeah, there's a new show called Bluey. It's pretty good. I think you could. I think you'd like it. I watch it sometimes. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll check it out." And we watched the first couple of episodes. I'm like, "Oh, this is actually pretty good. I can definitely see a kid sitting down and be able to watch this and have fun." We learned about saying no to your daddy when he plays too rough with you. We learned about. I'm not joking. One of the kids. Okay. Let me go into
what kind
detail.
Of show is this?
Okay,
this is not a
look.
kid show.
Let me explain. There's an older sister and a younger sister. The dad is used to playing rough with the older sister. Like, there's a game where they where he just slams him against a yoga ball.
What?
Yeah, he just like bounces him up and down on a yoga ball.
On a dick?
Yes.
What words is going? I forgot.
Yeah, and then he's just like boing, and the kid's like, yeah. But and little sister's like, I want to 10 too. And then he picks her up. He's like, all right, here you go. And he does it, but it doesn't feel good. It hurts. And she's like, oh, okay. But anyway, she keeps wanting to hang out with dad and her older sister, but he's only playing at the older sister's level. So she's just like going along with it, even though a lot of the things that they're doing hurt, or she doesn't like it. It hurts her. Her body hasn't built up that immunity yet. So eventually, she just separates and goes outside and just like. She gets underneath a bench and she's just like sitting there and she starts to cry. And the mom's like, "Oh, sweetie, what's wrong?" And she's like, "Hell, it's just that I've been playing with daddy and my big sister, but dad's really rough with me." And at that point, I'm just like, if any parent heard their daughters say that, this would not be a healthy kids show anymore. You're like, "What have you done to my daughter?" We don't have a daughter. We have a woman in our house. I'm sorry, this is such a wholesome show. I shouldn't do this.
You shouldn't.
And the mom's like, "Oh, well, have you told him that he's playing too rough?" He's like, "No." And she's like, "Well, you should."
Don't expect it to change.
She was like, "Well, how about you use your big girl bark?" And I'm like, "Oh, yes, the allegory for the rape whistle. This is exactly what we need. What we needed." And she's like, "No, I don't really have a good big girl bark." And she's like, "Well, try it." She's like, "Oh, no, you can do better. But you
just unironically bark."
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, you can do better than that."
No.
And she was like, "Come on, louder." Oh, finally. The kids are asleep and the wife's gone. Guess that means it's time for some porn. And then she was like, "Oh yeah, that's perfect. Come on, let's go inside and do it now." So the mom is there to help her to be like,
why can't the mom just tell the dad herself?
Because she wants to teach her kids to like use their voices and be heard instead of beaten, I guess.
You should learn to express
Exactly. Everybody has no choice. When you find my noose around you, find my noose around you. So anyway, she tells him like, when you play with me, you play too rough and it hurts. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Bingo. I didn't know." And she was like, "I still want to play with you, but I don't want you to be as rough." He's like, "Well, how about we find your pain threshold?" So they, so they do.
Why would you word it like that? Like what?
No, he didn't say it like that, but this is how I remember it.
I'm gonna say Australians built different, bro. Like what?
Mm-hmm. So they play the yoga ball game again. He's like, "All right, how about this? Is this too rough?" She's like, "No." All right. So, so how about this? And he slams it down a little bit harder. This is the worst episode to describe the show. I'm so sorry. And she's like, "No, that's fun." And he's like, "All right, how about this?" And he slams her super hard. She's like, "Oh, finally." And she's like, "Oh," and he's like, all right, that's too hard. Now I know how rough to play with you." This all sounds terrible, but trust me, it's great. Is Audacity still running? All right, yeah, it's still running. I just had to make sure. But yeah, it's a really good show, and it's like, this feels like one of the first times a kid show is made for the kids.
Like, Clues feels like it was pretty much made for a kid.
Well, true. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that
Bear in the Big Blue House looks like it was made for a kid. Sesame Street feels like it was made for a kid.
okay, there are certain examples, but what I'm trying to say is like kids entertainment.
Sesame Street did it first.
Oh yeah, kids in entertainment for me growing up. Sesame Street was an exception because sometimes they would actually have really
They
good.
legit had to have a girl with AIDS on there.
We don't talk about that girl.
And
there
with
was
ADHD.
and then there was Julia.
Julia sometimes acts different because Julia has autism.
There's
Black one.
I don't know. Like for some reason, growing up, I felt like a lot of the shows that were made for
I feel like
kids.
that was too much in your face though for the Sesame Street one.
Yeah, a lot of them were less about being made for the kids and more to keep
we're
the
inclusive.
kids.
Ha, ha.
No, more to keep the kids entertained. If that makes sense. Unless the show was specifically made to be educational, it was more like, oh yeah, here's something to put in other words, Cocomelon, that channel that exists now. That seems
You've
like
heard of it. I've never seen it. But...
that seemed like the standard of kids in entertainment nowadays to me. And I'm just like, yeah, you get some nursery rhymes, maybe you learn your letters and colors, but other than that, it's just bright noises and colors. And when I was watching Bluey in the server, I was like, okay, I can definitely see how this is like an example of good media to show kids. And then we watched an episode about a dog with ADHD. And no joke, guys, I cried.
You're joking, right?
No, I said no joke. I'm
Ooh.
not joking.
You're not joking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I cried tears. Tears escaped my tear ducts and rolled down my cheek.
Crazy.
Because it's crazy. I mentioned this earlier. I think in the podcast. I don't know if I was recording yet when we were talking about Tigger.
I don't think so. No.
ADHD kids can relate to Tigger, but Tigger doesn't have ADHD. So kids can be like, "Oh yeah, I relate to this character," but they don't really. Well, I mean, even if he did, the author can't come out and say, "Oh yeah, he has ADHD." But that's for a pretty good reason.
Wonder what it could be.
Yeah, he's on vacation.
Real long one.
Fuck you. It's really weird. Well, not even weird. It's comforting to know that we're in an age now where it's like, we know that not every kid is going to be the same. We need to be able to talk to different kids about different things. And the reason why that episode of Bluey, it was called Army, by the way, season 2, episode 18, if you want to watch it. It's very comforting. And the reason I cried was mainly because I wished when I was growing up, I had a show like this to actually say, hey, look, you're not alone. You're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just something that you have. It's fine. I wish I could have had something like that when I was younger. Instead, I just had, I don't know, fucking Beast Boys simping over Tara. I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
It's because it's not a bad thing. He deserved her.
She was gay. That's why he didn't get together with him. He was gay.
Or because the story cut off before they could do anything about it.
True.
Give me season 6.
No. Oh, yeah, Teen Titans. I'm sorry. I thought you meant My Little Pony. I'm so sorry.
What? Who was talking about that?
I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, I wanted to use this podcast to talk about the differences between children's media of today and children's media.
Why am I on this one? I don't consume any media besides like YouTube.
But you used to, and that way we can like we can use your expertise on like what you used to watch growing up.
Is it expertise?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you were raised watching stuff on PBS and Nick Jr. and
I mean, I feel like everyone was.
Disney Jr. It used to be called something else. I remember Playhouse to Disney. That's what it was called.
It was called Jetix before then. But then they replaced Jetix for Playhouse Disney. Replaced Playhouse Disney with whatever called Disney Junior.
Did they replace Playhouse Disney with Jetix?
No, it was Jetix first, and it was pretty sure it was Jetix first, and then they changed Jetix to Playhouse Disney, and then Playhouse Disney to Disney Junior. Pretty sure that's how it went.
Why would they replace Jetix
I don't know, because I
with
love
Playhouse Disney?
I love Jetix so much, bro. But then they decided, hey, guess what? Jetix isn't a thing anymore. Haha, Shaolin Showdown. You thought, aha.
Why not have both?
I don't know.
Because they showed Jetix late at night. It could literally go Playhouse.
Cartoon Network Adult Swim type thing.
Yeah, Playhouse Disney in the morning, Disney in the day, and then Jetix at night.
Too much work.
I actually remember being so mad because I remember seeing so many promos for Sonic X on Jetix. And I was like, oh, so I can see it on TV. I'm finally going to be able to watch it because I didn't understand the concept of stealing or pirating, which I should have just done. So I remember I'd stay up and I'm like, okay, Super Robot Monkey Team, Hyperforce Go, that's great. But where's Sonic? I want to watch Sonic. Sonic.
Damn.
I know. I'm good at sucking off Sonic the Hedgehog.
This episode of the Just Talk podcast is brought to you by the Dream Team. Dream Team is currently releasing a line of merchandise based off their new series, Dairy Dairy. If you're looking to support the show as well as get some fresh merch, then click on the Teespring link in the description and pick us up a shirt or maybe even a poster. And don't forget to use the code HOOTERATE to get 50% off your order. That's right, use the code WHODERE to receive 50% off your entire order. Again, that's WHODERE to receive 50% off your entire order.
Was this like the rough cut, or was this like the actual edited version?
Thank you, sweetie.
Was that like the edited version, or like?
No, that was her. She jumped in the call.
Do better. Do better.
Thank you, sweetie. You're the best. Oh, she's gone. There we go. Perfect. That's the ad for this episode.
You're gonna edit it, right?
No. I was gonna leave it.
Use the code HWHO.
I had that planned for weeks. I'm like, I have to do this. I have to. It's gonna be great. Oh my god, she's DMing me. She's shaking immensely right now. Just shake. These nuts.
These bussies.
All right. What was I saying about children's shows?
I don't know.
Okay. And I guess the reason why I changed hypothetical heck to this is because after watching that episode, I'm laying in bed. I'm just like, man, I wish I could have had this when I was younger. What did I have when I was younger? And then I immediately thought about Caillou getting mad because his dad said we'd go to the zoo tomorrow.
Like, Nick, you're going to the zoo either way, bro.
Exactly.
Just wait till tomorrow.
He's like, no, I want to go today. Daddy, why?
Like, do a whole tantrum. Like, bro, you're still going to the zoo.
Hmm?
What?
I'm sorry. I was just...
You cannot do multiple things.
I can't. My ADHD wants me to, but I can't. And, like, I'm just sitting here because I'm just like, man, like, we really just had shows that were, like... Well, then again, I guess now that I'm sitting here thinking about regulation, Caillou might have been an outlier. Because there aren't too many shows like that. Well, okay, Peppa Pig definitely is. Because Peppa doesn't really learn a lot of stuff. It's just mindless nonsense
maybe like
happening.
Max from Max and Ruby, he was kind of not like, I don't know.
I remember Max and Ruby taught me that if I constantly say that I want something enough times, I'll get in my way.
Apple. No,
Max.
Apple.
And no, Max.
Apple.
Max, no.
Apple.
Max, I'm playing with my...
Apple.
Max, please. Did you know he's speaking in full sentences now?
Is he?
Yeah.
That's like the opposite of his entire character.
It's crazy because
Is he like older or something, or is it?
No,
just
I think he's like a year older, and he has full speaking roles. I'm just like, Max, you're not supposed to talk. You're supposed to say one word, cake.
Big Mac.
Cake. He just walks in the house one day. Brendan, take this out. He walks in the house. He's like, oh, what a beautiful day at the park. Max, why are you so mad? Max, I don't think you should say that.
Max, who taught you that?
Max, no! You can't say that! What do you want? Like, there's nothing I can glean from this to see what you want. And then he just like holds up a noose.
For the Caucasian race to be the supreme race in the world.
I only wish for the white rabbit to attain superiority in this world. Your brown-skinned friend should not be allowed to live. Max!
I shall call on Buster the Rabbit. He and I shall rule this new world.
Okay, Arthur was a good example of teaching kids the right thing, though.
Yeah, Buster had divorced parents.
Yeah. Also, like, Arthur was just a genuinely good show in general.
Yeah, they had gay rights. I mean, gay support. They had a advocacy for, hey, you're normal if your parents are divorced. They had a Brain being, like, stupid smart, and he was, like, outcasted for it.
Yeah.
They had Binky being a...
Binky was actually struggling with being a bully because it's like
My parents don't love me, so I have to take it out on everyone else.
Like he had friends who were bullies, and he was like, I want to hang out with them, but I don't hate Arthur. And they're like, well, you got to go punch him. He's like, I don't want to punch Arthur. But unfortunately, the whole episode, I don't like that episode. I like the scene because the whole thing is, I'm pretty sure you know the episode. Arthur is building a model plane, and DW is like, well, can I fly it? He's like, it's a model plane. It doesn't fly. And she's like, well, that's dumb. So he walks out the room. She's like, I know it can fly. So she picks it up and throws it out, not in the room, out the window. She's like,
I would have to Will Smith her.
Exactly. And he walks up and he was like, where's my plane? He's like, your plane's busted. It didn't fly for a single second.
I told you it didn't fly.
I told you it didn't
fly.
fly. She's like, well, next time, buy one that flies. She's like, I told you not to touch it. And then he punches her. Like, we don't know where he punches her. I assume it's on the arm. But it's with enough force to make her fall back on her butt. So I'm assuming he...
Oh, no, you okay, bro? You okay, bro? You okay, bro?
No. So I'm assuming he punched her in the chest. Just... Mommy! And his parents are like, Arthur, why would you do that?
Why would she do that?
Like, I understand that, but also at the same time, you mentioned he'd have to Will Smith her. And now I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I get the joke now. They're trying to, but they were trying to teach kids, like, even when you get mad, you shouldn't resort to violence.
But also, I told you multiple times, it doesn't fly. Why would you go behind my back and try and fly the thing I told you that wouldn't fly and you broke it? Like, bro.
The only
thing... You gotta have some kind of, like repercussion for doing that.
See, that's...
I'm not saying violence is a thing, but I'm saying you gotta learn, like, hey, you can't be doing that.
Yeah, that's the thing with the episode. Even though I like the message of, like, you shouldn't resort to violence when people make you mad, they didn't offer any alternatives.
Just don't be violent.
And DW didn't get punished for it.
Should have. Yeah,
she should have. Like, if I had written that episode, I would have...
That's your script right over here.
Yeah, I would have had to be like... Because Arthur got he got reparations because he went to school and Binky's friends were like, hey, if you're cool, you gotta punch Arthur. And he's like, I don't want to punch Arthur. Why the fuck would I punch Arthur? And he's like, oh, so you don't want to be friends? No, I want to be friends. And then he walks up to Arthur and he punches him in the face. So he's at home in pain. Like, he literally... The difference between DW and Arthur is that Arthur did nothing to Binky. He was minding his own business. And he's sitting in the kitchen. He has an ice pack on his eye. And his dad's like, now do you know how DW felt? I'm just like, shut up. This is different.
This is such a different scenario. I got punched because I went to school.
I was attacked for being born. DW learned her lesson for doing stuff she wasn't supposed to do.
She got what she deserved. I just went to school.
Exactly. But, like, I would have definitely been like...
They could have handled that better.
Yeah, I would have been like, DW should definitely get in trouble for breaking something that didn't belong to her. At least acknowledge that.
Being told, hey, this is what's gonna happen if you try and do it, and she still did it, like, bro.
Now, of course, some people will say, oh, well, Arthur got punished for punching DW. He got punched by Binky. They're not related situations.
Those are completely unrelated situations.
That would be like saying, oh, man, I cheated on my test.
Oh, that's why you got pulled over by a cop today. Like,
exactly. No, it's not. Like, yeah, I got karma, I guess, but the karma is not related.
Like, yeah, I cheated on a test. I also happened to be pulled over by the cops and get a ticket. Like, okay, and...
wow, you really...
If you got repercussions, it'll probably be like, okay, since you cheated, you got a 0. That's a direct
Exactly. Like, you cheat on the test, you get every answer right, and you think, oh, yeah, I'm doing good. But the teacher calls you in, and she's like, hey, so, I saw you copying off of Buster, so here's your test back. A 0, I know you got everything right, but you didn't learn it. So you got a 0. I'll let you retake the test after you study. That's how you handle that situation. You don't punch the fucking child in the face for cheating. I saw you look at Buster's test.
No, Arthur. I noticed you looked at Buster's test. You got...
Catches him off guard. He clips him in the jaw. He clenches him where his jaw meets his throat.
Made his nose go back to normal.
So he's choking at the same time. Now go home and study, Arthur. Yes, Mr. Redbird. Yes, Mr. Redbird. Damn. Whatever happened to Buster's spin-off show?
I don't know.
I actually remember that was one of the first times something cool happened.
It's two spin-offs. One's for his mom, one's for his dad.
Shut up. You're mean. I remember that was the first time I ever felt like the cartoon world was bigger than it actually was. Because when Buster said, hey, I have to go around the world and travel, for those couple of seasons where he did his own thing, he wasn't in Arthur. And I was like...
Yeah, because he was not there.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's cool. My child brain was like, that could happen?
What, that could happen?
Wow. No!
Buster!
Can you believe Buster's spin-off show is the inspiration for Diddles going to Tube Tech?
I can't believe it.
Wow. I copied Arthur.
Just like you copied 14 other IPs.
Absolutely. Did I ever tell you when I discovered Kingdom Hearts in college? I went to college and actually...
the end of the sentence? Like what?
Yeah, like I went to college and discovered Kingdom Hearts. And I was like, wow. And Pyro Knight was like, what?
So much lore that doesn't make sense.
I'm actually gonna get fucking sued. And they're just like, why? This is word for word how to tube. He's like, no, it's not. I'm like, yes, it is. And I told him everything. He's like, you've never played a Kingdom Hearts game before, have you? I'm like, no. He's like, you're gonna get sued.
Not an original story, then. Anyone can be a writer.
Exactly. Just write. Just put the pen to paper. It's like what Monica said. Sometimes you don't know the full story, but you just got to get something down on the paper and see where it goes. That's Monica's writing tip of the day.
I don't like writing.
Well,
exactly.
Sorry to bring this back to ADHD, guys. I was watching a psychiatrist explain ADHD for 25 minutes. Was called out the entire time. He was saying that
just sit still the whole 25 minutes.
That's because it caught my interest. No, it didn't. I was drawing while it was playing, and
man, I feel like you gotta have some kind of white noise in the background.
Yeah, and he was talking about writing. He's like, people with ADHD struggle with writing. It's not because they don't know what to write down. Let's say they have a fantastical story in mind that they want to make, and I'm just like, oh yeah. They have every nook and cranny in their mind. They know what needs to happen. I'm like, yep. But the minute they have to sit down and write it out, they give up.
Yep.
And I'm just like, you son of a bitch.
Maybe I have ADHD.
It took me 6 goddamn months to get through the first saga of How to write it down.
Just write.
Even though I knew... Exactly! I told myself, just sit down and write it out. Because if you die, then they will have nothing to go off of. It'll be like Monty Ohm, except instead of ignoring what you wrote, they just won't use what you wrote.
I don't have enough information on that topic to comment, so I'm not going to comment.
Monty Ohm is a great man.
I'm not going to deny that.
Exactly. Podcast over. So with that being said...
Okay.
It's only been 28 minutes? Damn.
That feels about 28 minutes.
How about you get some 28 bitches?
You think I have been trying?
No.
I have.
Try harder. There's only one bitch you need.
God.
And she's listening right now.
Are you there, God? It's
no.
Me. Can you give me a bitch?
I bet God's... I'm sorry. I'm not.
That was probably disrespectful.
Nah.
I apologize.
Nah. It's nice of you to call her God, though. Anyway,
I was talking to the one and only.
I will say, Sesame Street had some bangers. Like, I remember when... I
didn't watch Sesame Street like that.
Like, Sesame Street didn't teach...
I watched Bear in the Big Blue House a lot.
Who taught me the concept of death? You know, all cartoons...
Sesame Street, because Sesame Street did it, like, recently. Like, within the past decade or so. So it definitely wasn't them.
They did it, like...
I don't think I learned really from a show. I think I just grew up and realized, hey, people die. And then that's,
Did the Bible teach me the concept of death?
Honestly, if anything, it probably was just me going to Sunday school. People would be like, "Yeah, you die and you don't come back." And I'm like, "Oh,
loser."
That's kind of sad. I don't know. I mean, I don't remember ever really learning the concept.
Well, I don't think it was a recent thing Sesame Street did. I think
it was within like the last decade or so. Where like,
because there was a character with Mr. Hooper and his actor actually died, and they had to explain to Big Bird.
Yeah, that he's like, hey, he's not coming back. He's
like,
dead.
But why? I want him to come back. Well, it's not all about you,
it's not
big
about
bird.
you, big bitch.
You're gonna meet him in a second if you don't shut the fuck up. Oh boy! I get to meet Mr. Hooper. Fluffalophagus, help me! I can't. I'm not real, Big Bird.
I love trash.
Damn. I also love how Sesame Street tried to pull that shit. Where they were like, we are now introducing the first homeless puppet to Sesame Street.
It's just Oscar.
And
he just lives in the trash.
And I'm just like, one, Oscar's been there since the beginning.
He's been there since the beginning.
And two,
I guess the trash is...
whatever child you're making the homeless kick character for, I guarantee you
they're not watching it.
They do not have a way to see them.
I guarantee you they have no way of knowing that this exists.
This episode of the Just Talk podcast is brought to you by the Dream Team. Dream Team is currently releasing a line of merchandise based off their new series, Dere Dere. If you're looking to support the show, as well as get some fresh merch, then click on the Teespring link in the description and pick yourself up a hoodie, a shirt, or maybe even a poster. And don't forget to use the code HOOTERE at checkout to get 50% off your order. That's right, use the code HOOTERE to receive 50% off on your entire order. Again, that's WHODERE to receive 50% off your entire order. Wait, can we really sponsor us?
Well, yeah, like, kids' entertainment it's always a touchy subject, because either you get it right or you get it wrong.
Their brains are just sponges, pretty much. They'll soak up any information they get.
Yeah, so
maybe retain it, maybe not. So it's like you gotta explain stuff in a way that like makes sense to them, but also is like mature enough to where it's not like you're just talking down to them.
Yeah,
it's kind of a weird thing to go about.
It really makes you think that you really want to make sure you're putting the right stuff in their mind. Which is why if your brain is a sponge and you are subscribed to Diddly Do Renewed, I'm gonna need you to unsubscribe. I don't want the first memories of your brain learning stuff to be Mucky Show or Zoe Trent. I don't think that should be it.
I know that shouldn't be it.
That's not it, Chief. You need to stop that right now.
What the what?
It's also weird going back and watching the stuff you watched as a child to see how your brain acknowledges it now. I recently went back and rewatched The Proud Family because I wanted to do a review with Louder and Prouder coming out. And upon watching it, I'm sitting there like, this really wasn't just for kids. Because when you're growing up, don't think about my Trudy Proud pictures. I'll kill you. Because it's like, what, is that when they fucking had sex?
No, you said Louder and Prouder. It just made me think of
LGBT community.
Blacker and...
No!
I don't know why it made me laugh so much, but I just... Take that off.
Blacker and darker. They're definitely louder. I don't think I've heard Penny say a sentence in that show where she doesn't fucking scream.
Which character did they like completely like just change the design of?
Michael.
No, it was like a girl. I think it was like a girl that I saw on Twitter. Like people were like, some people were getting upset, some people were getting like, oh wow,
Dejanay.
Yeah, I think it was her. Someone.
Oh yeah,
got the whole design just like revamped pretty much. I can't remember who it was.
No, I mean she's still Ratchet, and everyone's mad because they're like, oh, you guys didn't need to do her like that. I'm like, she's Ratchet. They made her look Ratchet. Are you saying Ratchet bitches don't exist? You guys don't want representation. Everyone complaining is Dejanay.
You can be Ratchet without looking, quote unquote, looking Ratchet.
Well, unfortunately, that's not Dejanay. She likes looking Ratchet. That is her style.
Okay, I guess.
Sticky!
Oh, Sticky didn't come back, and I'm pretty sure you know why. The whole Orlando Bloom being addicted to drugs thing. That'd be like if they brought Drake Bell back.
Orlando Bloom and Orlando Blue are two different people.
Orlando Bloom.
I don't know which one is which. I can't remember. But...
Damn. Well, I guess we're both dying now. We're both going
Blue.
down on this ship. Yes. Blue Regard Q Kazoo.
And you know it.
You abadab. Nope.
Can't say that.
Not today. But yeah, it's really weird going back and rewatching The Proud Family because I'm sitting here. Because I'm sitting here. Someone stole all the fucks I give. Seems like you cared enough to open this thread, open the reply window, type in your post, fill out the CAPTCHA, and click reply. Joke's on you. I have a 4chan pass. Giving money to Hero KYS. It's better than not having 4chan. caring about 4chan. Anyway, it's weird because upon rewatch, it really never clicks. The whole, oh, it's not just for kids. Parents can enjoy it too. It doesn't hit until you get to that age where a show's not for you anymore. But there's still stuff in there that you can learn. Like, The Proud Family isn't just about Penny growing up and learning lessons. Her parents learn lessons almost as frequently as she does. And I say parents, but it's mainly Oscar. Because this nigga a bum. He don't deserve Trudy. He don't deserve a mom. He don't deserve to have a mom as good as Sugar Mama. I remember growing up, I used to get so mad that Sugar Mama would be so mean to Oscar. He's mean to her first. He starts it every goddamn time. And I remember I used to not like Bobby, his brother, because like I was like, oh, Sugar Mama just likes him because he's not him. No, it's because Bobby's doing shit with his life. He's like, yes, I will admit, Oscar is trying. But he's trying at something he sucks at.
That's the purpose of trying, because you suck at it.
But the thing is like...
You're getting mad at him for...
No.
Be better at something he sucks at?
No. Let me say. It's something he wants to do. But it's something that he has proven throughout the years he cannot do. And normally, if it's just a hobby or something, I'm like, oh, sure, dude, I don't care. If you had fun doing it, go all out. This is his business. This is what he is staking his family's financial status on.
You want to write a story, but you didn't. It took 6 months to start. That's what you're staking your future on.
No.
Do better. Try harder.
No, I have the story. I just didn't write it down.
Well, then try harder.
I don't have to try. I have it. Oscar does not have it.
Well, then what's wrong with just keep trying until hopefully you do?
The problem is that he doesn't do anything for backup. Like, if he had something else that he was doing to make money and, like, provide for the family, then sure, I don't care if he keeps doing his fucking family.
You want him to fall back into the African-American ways and just be a scammer.
I don't know where you got the African-American part from, but okay. Like, for instance, he's good at basketball. He's genuinely good at it. I wonder why. But anyways...
He's tall and black. That's why.
Like, he's good at basketball.
Also, he's definitely way past the age of being in any kind of professional basketball.
Oh, I mean, let's see. What else is he good at?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
He's really just not good at anything.
I mean, he could just be a stay-at-home dad, I guess.
Like, he's running a whole factory. He pays one person. I don't even think he pays him.
Sounds familiar. Pay your people. Stop using me as a crutch.
You're not even here. I've just been mimicking his voice the whole time.
Bro, you should go into voice acting or something. That's crazy.
I know. Thanks, Brandon.
No problem, Brandon.
Anyway, thanks for listening to the Just Talk podcast. Whoa, how does he laugh and talk at the same time? But yeah, it's just like... It's frustrating, and that's when I realized that I don't think I've ever heard of a white family saying that they need to have a backup plan.
I mean, I really only talk to one white person because I talk to the same 4 people every day. So I mean, like, I don't really have
like
any,
don't get me wrong. I don't know if I'm getting my stereotypes right. I don't know if it's a stereotypical thing for black families to be like, oh yeah, you can have this that you want to do, but make sure you have a backup plan, like maybe this or that.
I mean, I know my family says that.
Yeah,
clearly I'm a black person.
And that's the thing with Oscar. I don't mind that he wants to make snacks. If he gets something right, he gets something right in his snack business.
Makes edibles?
Holy shit, he totally could. I hope that's an episode of Louder and Prouder where he tries to make like a new snack, but he accidentally makes
accidentally add THC into something.
Look, knowing Oscar, I wouldn't be surprised. So he's like, Penny, go to school. Give this out to your friends for free. So he gives it to him, right? And then Penny accidentally gets the whole school addicted to edibles. She's like, oh. She's like, Daddy, what's in these things? She's like,
my secret ingredient, THC.
He would probably see THC on the ball and think it stood for something else, for like truly hot corn or some shit. The truly hot corn, that adds the spice to it. And Trudy's like, Oscar, this is weed.
Oscar, this is weed.
Sugar Mom was like, well, I knew there was a reason you always acted so high, but damn. You just keep that lying around the house? And Trini's like, that's mine. She's like, Penny, we taught you better than to smoke. No, you fucking didn't. You told me not to date boys till I was 16. You didn't say nothing about weed. Anyway, you should hire me to write an episode of The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder.
Just such an idea is free real estate.
But yeah, the thing with the loud house, I'm so here, the Proud House. The Loud House. Wider and prider. Oh. In the loud house.
Oh, no. It's a good thing there's no video.
Absolutely. Why'd Diego text me? But yeah,
my line, to be fair.
There's so many lessons in there for adults to learn because
everyone getting on my back, bro?
Damn, they really want you to do stuff, don't they?
No, everyone's just getting mad at me for like an MGK.
Oh, what did I say?
Dang.
You can say it.
Called me a cracker.
Oh, damn. I can't believe I would lie like that. But yeah, it's like they will casually teach Oscar and Trudy a lesson. Well, they won't even teach them a lesson. They'll have them display lessons for adults in their lives. Adults who happen to watch the show. Like, for instance, Trudy really wants to get her kids into a special school, Center Academy. So she ends up paying $5,000 for a ticket to a banquet and is willing to dance with the principal. And Oscar's like, hey, look, I don't care how much I want my kids to be ahead of the curve. It's not worth $5,000 and letting some man dance with my wife. And I'm just like, well, damn, you know what?
You got standards.
I mean, you have standards. You still abuse your wife, but still, that's okay. Look,
you got standards, but look, you still abuse your wife. Your wife.
Yes, to both of those things. I'm not saying he should drop the snack industry. I'm just saying that he can work on it while pursuing something to actually make sure they keep a house over their head. Because we learned in the reboot, his phone hasn't worked for months because he hasn't paid his phone bill. I'm just like, if you can't pay your phone bill, you should probably get a job.
Nah.
It's too reasonable. Black people. I can't believe it.
I'm just going to start scamming.
Absolutely. Sunil, you stay in there. Don't you dare come out, Sunil. If you stay right down there, Peter knew. But yeah, I plan on just going through and just watching a bunch of old shows from when I was younger to see, like, if there's anything else I can glean from it. Like,
you can what?
That I can glean from it.
What is that?
that you can, like, take away from it. Do you know what gleaning is?
I do now.
Yeah.
Look, I'm too black for these words, bro.
Exactly, just like Oscar. Have you seen his lips?
Oscar's definitely darker than me.
Trudy! Can't wait for the podcast to me just be yelling Trudy for the remaining 20 minutes.
I gotta defend myself on Twitter.
No, you don't. You don't have to defend yourself to no nigga.
What channel is this going on?
You are...
Oh! They heard you. Defend yourself to who?
Is that cops or ambulance?
Sounds more like ambulance.
They're here. What the fuck? Hello? Are they driving down there? No, that would have been louder. That's a dead man. What if there was just a dead man outside the door? How funny would... That wouldn't be funny. That'd be tragic. Like my love life. I want to watch The Replacements.
Your love life's tragic, bro? So is mine. Calling the Replacements.
Replacements.
Todd and Riley were so sad. Till they found us that flame coat. Something, maybe even lame. Calling the Replacements.
What are some lessons you learned from cartoons growing up?
I didn't learn anything.
I was right all along.
No, but I mean, I don't really think there. I watch cartoons to like learn things. I just kind of watched them to just either cure boredom or was just like my family was like, stop bothering me and watch this.
You didn't learn anything from Kim Possible?
I learned that Shiga was bad, and like I learned that is my type of woman.
You didn't learn that sometimes the best boyfriend is right there in front of you? This is hella gay. I'm sorry. I was just like, I can't keep this bit going. I'm done.
The only thing Kim Possible taught me was that Shiga is my ideal woman.
Kim Possible taught me that sometimes the villain ain't even a villain. He's just a loser.
What is it?
Draken?
Yeah, Draken. He's just a bored guy.
Yeah,
he's like Dr. Doofenshmirtz. He's just like, he's not even evil. Like, Dr. Doofenshmirtz had some valid points.
Yeah, he literally just wants a friend.
That's why he was like so upset when Shiga was like, yeah, I don't rock with you anymore. He's like, oh, I had a friend and now my friend's gone.
I don't remember a lot of Kim Possible after Ron and Kim started dating.
You got that jealous, you just said, oh no, I can't watch My Girl with anyone else.
I never really liked Kim like that. I like the mom. I'm noticing a trend.
You're just not noticing this trend?
Yeah.
Even though I've told you about it?
I think I just have a thing for animated MILFs.
I think I just have a thing for alt goth girls.
Dexter taught me that girls are not allowed in my laboratory.
My laboratory. I was going to do the accent, but I was not even going to try.
Laboratory.
What?
Hey guys, what are some lessons cartoons taught you? Let us know down in the comments.
I honestly I didn't really watch cartoons to like learn things. It was mainly just like I was bored, so I watched a show, or like my family was just like, stop bothering me and watch this.
There's this anime out right now on Netflix called Kotaro Lives Alone. I'm not even gonna try to surprise you or anything. It's literally just an anime pointing out the fact that child neglect in Japan is like awful. Apparently it's an epidemic that they do a lot to hide, but it's like really bad. And the manga / anime was made to out it. And the whole premise is this kid named Kotaro moves into an apartment by himself. And everyone's like, why the fuck is he in an apartment by himself? Where are his parents? He's like, I don't live with my parents anymore. Apparently he ran away from his dad because his dad got abusive. And he believes that one day his mom is going to come back and pick him up. So he's just living on his own, trying to survive until that day comes.
How does he have the money?
That's the thing. For some reason, Benefactor donates money to him every week to take care of all of his expenses. Every time he's like, where does this money come from? Oh, spoilers for Kotaro Lives Alone, by the way. I should probably go ahead and say this. Because I don't think you're going to watch it. You're not really a slice of life guy. He's like, so where does this come from? He's like, oh, a wealthy benefactor heard your story, and he's like super excited.
Plot twist, it was his mother all
along. So anyway, the person who delivers it every week, she goes back to the office. She's like, I don't get it. Like, who is this person? Why do they keep just donating to this random kid? And there's like, oh, the money? And you're like, yeah. Oh, that's his mother's life insurance. And I'm just like, huh? No! No! Stop hurting me! Like, literally in episode 1, he's meeting the neighbors and we learn all of their quirks. The one next door is a manga artist who doesn't really have, like, the drive to do anything. The next one over is a woman who's in an abusive relationship. All the money she makes from working at a host club, which I learned are real, and honestly
you didn't think they were real?
No, I thought it was just a concept made up for, like, entertainment. But apparently it's a real thing. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, damn, that would be a very successful toned-down version of strip clubs if it ever came to America. I know a lot of lonely niggas would go there just to pay someone to hang out with them. 100%.
I am lonely niggas. I would do that. I'm lonely.
How's it going, Tube Tech students? It's your boy, Lonely Niggas, and today we're going to be going to a host club.
Today we're going to a host club so we can have social interaction. It would definitely smell sweaty, though.
Yeah,
there would definitely be a whole bunch of neckbeards in there.
It would. They would have to constantly pump perfumes through the vents to make it smell like reasonable.
There would be a lot of neckbeards there and, like, fedora wearers.
Yeah, like, and then the problem would be someone would catch feelings for one of them.
They're going to come to a lunch one day and, like, oh, I come here every day and she always smiles at me. She must love me.
Yeah, But yeah, like, we meet them, and then there's the person downstairs. He's the typical, like, guy, the one who's always, like, squatting, the tough guy. And he meets Kotaro. He's like, "Oh my god, he's so cute. Hey, why don't you come to my apartment? I got a gift for you." And he gives him a doll of like a famous anime character. Don't worry, he doesn't go alone. The guy, the manga artist.
Oh yeah.
He realizes that this is a child, so he never lets him do anything by himself. And I'm just like,
treats him like his own.
Yeah, he does. And everyone's like, "Oh, your kid's so cute." He's like, "I don't have a kid." He's like, "What the fuck you doing with this child?" He's like, "Don't worry about it."
Don't worry about it.
So he goes downstairs and he gives him this anime character doll, and I'm telling you all of this to say how you reminded me of something from the show. And he's like, "Oh wow, you got this doll, this character. I love this character." He's like, "Yeah, I actually got it for my son, but my wife's I couldn't see him this week." And then it cuts to a flashback of them at a diner, and she's saying, "Yeah, he doesn't want to see you anymore. He doesn't like you." And he's like,
that just seems like a whole show of like depressive slice of life. Like, why would I want to watch that?
And she's just, and he's, and the kid who's super smart, he's like, "So you're telling me you're trying to use me as a replacement for your son?" And he's like, "Well, I mean, like, I can't give it to him, so I want you to keep this and give it to him whenever you get a chance to see him." He's like, "But my ex-wife says he doesn't want to see me anymore." He's like, "Well, you'll see him one day." And they reveal later in the series that the mom was lying the entire time. She just didn't want the kid to be around him.
That's a real thing that happens, like even like nowadays, especially like in America and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting there like, fuck this bitch. But
like it's a real problem.
There's but the whole reason why I bring this up is because he really likes that anime character, right? And he goes over to the manga artist because his TV hasn't been delivered yet. He's like, "Can I watch it here with you?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." So they sit down and they watch it. And yeah, I guess this falls in the realm of children's entertainment. Children can watch anime in Japan.
I mean, your children can watch anime, you know.
So they go to the bathhouse after it, and they're just like, "How do you watch that show?" He's like, "What do you mean? Like, it's awful." He's like, "I mean, why do you watch it?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I must admit the writing and animation is pretty god awful." He's like, "So why do you watch it so much?" And then over on the other side of the bathhouse, this kid is crying and throwing a tantrum because the dad said it's time to leave the bathhouse. So Kotaro gets out the bath, butt naked, just walks over to him. He's like, "Hey, you shouldn't give your dad such a hard time. You should consider yourself lucky that you have someone like him in your life."
Dick swinging all up in his face.
Yeah. So then the dad picks up the kid and leaves. And the manga artist walks over. He's like, "So why do you watch the show?" And he's like, "Look, no, like he doesn't ask him. He just walks up to him and he was like, as I was saying, that kid should be lucky that he doesn't have to place the role of a father figure in an animated character." And the minute he said that, I started thinking about how much of the shit I learned from Sonic the Hedgehog. And I was like, oh my fucking god.
Chris Thorndike's family was your family?
No, Sonic. Like, just the morals that he instilled in me. I'm just like, fuck.
Sonic's my father.
That should have been my dad.
No, same people.
Well, not Sonic, but I'm just saying, like, that should have been my dad instilling those morals in me. But yeah,
see, I feel like I kind of have the same thing, except like the opposite in terms of like, you know, obviously I still have my father around.
Amy's your mother.
What?
Amy's your mom.
What?
Amy is your mom.
No.
Oh.
What?
I was about to say, lucky bastard.
I kind of have the same thing, except just like the opposite side of where like obviously I have my father in my life and everything, still do, but like especially growing up, it was just like he used to like go out of town on business trips like a whole lot back in the day, back when he was like when my mom was working at where she used to work and my dad was working where he used to work. It was like every other week or so he was just on a business trip, and then like when he was home, it was just like almost like hated it almost because it was just bad times all around. Just like, you know, I'm not gonna get into it and everything, but it was just like it wasn't good. So it was almost like I would prefer it when he was out of the town, because I was like, oh, I can finally like, you know, do this without fearing this. I can finally do this without fearing this or whatever. So then it's like I kind of it's kind of like the opposite for me, is where it's like I'm not gonna go and say I wish I didn't have a father on me, because I clearly, like, you know,
too late, you said it.
That's why I just said I'm not gonna say it. Oh. But it's like because I mean, like, at the end of the day, I did learn things. You know, it wasn't all bad times. It was just, you know, the bad times just kind of stand out.
They're easier to remember and call out. The bad times.
Yeah. Also, just because there's a lot more of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, at the end of the day, I still like appreciate it and stuff. But also, it's just like you kind of turn to like media and like the games I was playing, like the stuff I would watch and everything. Kind of turn to that for like not moral support, but just kind of like something to pick you up in a way. Just be like, oh, well, like if I had something like this, then I would be happy. Like if I had something like this, like maybe my life would be different or whatever. So it's like you kind of turn to the things around you instead of like the people in your life, because it's just like, well, if I had this, then maybe this could happen. If I had this, like it's just like you kind of turn to them, to like these like glorified like perfect versions of these characters or whatever. Like, 'cause I mean, a lot of characters, they're just like archetypes that are like textbook archetype, like perfect guy, perfect this, whatever. So it's like you kind of start turning to that instead of like what you actually have, because it's just like, you know, kind of makes you think like, oh, if I had this, then maybe I could actually like have this kind of happiness or like whatever kind of thing. So it's like I can see where you're coming from, because it's like the same kind of thing except just like opposite side of the coin pretty much.
And that's why I'm so glad kids today have shows like Bluey. Because let's say they do find themselves in a situation where they feel outcast because they can't remember things. They have trouble sitting still and focusing. There's just like, and they think, man, I'm weird. Let's say I hope they don't have to, but let's say they do have to turn to media for like comfort.
Especially nowadays where media is kind of toxic.
Yeah. And let's say they just so happen to catch that and they're just like, I'm not alone. This exists. Take that out. Like, this exists because someone went through what I went through.
Yeah. See, I feel like for me, I didn't necessarily turn to media per se. I guess it kind of is for me. I turned to more like music instead. Because like...
Juice.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, yeah. But like, I know like, especially now, like a lot of the music I listen to is just like a reflection of like how I feel and like how like my emotions and stuff. So it's like a lot of the like that's why I'm just always listening to music, because it's just like I'm just like now it's kind of a lot better nowadays, obviously, but like especially like before when I was like maybe like late teens to like early 20s, like earlier 20s than I am now, I was just like super of not in a good headspace, so I would just pop in some headphones, listen to music, and it was just kind of like, I guess comforting, because it's just like, bro, this person has like fame, money,
power,
followers, not necessarily power,
wealth, fame, and power.
They got like fame, they got money, they got like all these people who like look up to them and stuff, and yet they still feel like feelings of like depression and like anxiety, all that kind of stuff. So it's almost like, it's almost kind of like comforting, because like, bro, like wow, like, you know, you're all this, and you still feel like human emotions, I guess. So it's like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain.
Oh no, like I completely I understand what you're saying, because it's like you look at someone's life and you're just like, oh man, like if I had that, I wouldn't feel the same way I do. But then you see them open up and say, hey, look, I have all this stuff and I'm still feeling
especially like Juice, especially there's a good bit of songs where he's saying like yeah, people say I got money, I got power, I got fame, all that stuff, but it's like at the end of the day, I'm still like sad. Like they don't do anything. Like, yeah, like money, it can buy you like temporary happiness, it can buy you things that you want temporarily, but like at the end of the day, like let's say like, I don't know, you just want like, let's say you just like want a friend or something like that, like that SpongeBob episode. SpongeBob got like $1 million in like one day or whatever. All of a sudden the entire time wants to be a friend, but like the second that money ran out, they're all left him. Patrick was the only one still there. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, money can buy you all this stuff, but like at the same time, it's like it's not gonna buy you like it can buy you physical stuff and like, you know, that kind of thing. But like at the end of the day, it's not gonna do, you know, what you really need. And I'm not saying money can't buy you stuff, because like, I mean, if I had more money, I would definitely be more happy. Don't get me wrong. If I had bands on me, I would definitely be a lot more happy. But at the same time, it's like,
money objectively can buy you things. That is the purpose of money, to buy you things.
But like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, don't get me wrong, if I had money, I would definitely be a lot more happy than I am now, because I can like, you know, I'd be able to like do stuff that I couldn't do and everything. But also at the end of the day, it's like,
money has the power to.
I'm lonely. Money's not gonna buy me like a friend.
Money has the power to put you in a spot where you can be happier.
But like, it's just what you choose to do with the money, pretty much. Like, and like how you.
But money itself will not bring you that happiness. It all depends on how you use it.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty much my thing. It's just like, I'll just listen to a lot of music and stuff, and like I just kind of like, I'll I don't really do like turn to like media and stuff for that kind of thing, just because like I just don't really like media like that, just because it's just kind of toxic, and you just end up like comparing yourself to like other people and everything, and it's just like put that in my face. You just end up like comparing yourself to other people and everything, and it's just like it's just I don't know. It's not good for my mental personally. So I would just always turn to music, and then like a lot of the people I listen to, it's like they're going through the same thing. So it's like, oh wow, like I can kind of relate to that. So that's why, especially like when I was a little younger, a couple years ago, I would just always listen to music, and like even now, it's still just kind of carried over where it's just like I feel like I just kind of need to be like listening to music to like calm myself down and everything. Like if I'm like super emotional about anything or like angry or like any kind of emotion like that, I'm just like I'll just listen to music because it'll just like kind of like calm me down, keep me in check kind of thing. Yeah, that's me. That's me being vulnerable for a minute and 2 seconds. I don't know why I checked my watch as if I actually saw the time because I didn't.
My life as a teenage robot taught me to never wear a human suit.
My life as a teenage robot told me to never trust men made of rock.
They told me to always trust men made out of rock. Hey, you know what I mean? We rock. Oh, nuts.
They always told me to keep a friend under my desk.
Since you ruined our favorite hotspot, it only seems fair that we get to ruin this! You wouldn't like my body. It's all circuity and metallic. Good. We haven't been getting our recommended daily allowance of iron. No, wait, stop. Yeah.
Teen Titans told me there is nothing you can do to stop it.
You know, I was doing You Laugh, You Lose, and I don't think you've seen it.
We haven't, I'll be honest.
I made a joke to you that almost made me lose.
Why would you make a joke directed at me when I wasn't there?
Because I was just like because I was talking about how I was going to ban someone from the server and kill them, and I was like, you cannot run. You cannot hide. I'm going to ban you. And there is nothing you can do to stop it.
It's just like the exaggerated like consonants and stuff.
Teen Titans taught me that if I wish not to be destroyed, I will leave her alone. I'm so sorry. I guarantee you, no one understands these, which is kind of.
I mean, I feel like if you haven't seen the Teen Titans one, at least. I feel like a lot of people at least seen the Teen Titans one.
I'm both happy they don't understand this, but I'm also sad that they don't understand.
They get to explore the Teen Titans and the My Life Teenage Robot one. Those were like everyone's like initial kind of like, oh wow,
like that was the introduction.
And now they're
mine was Sonic, but you already know why.
Yeah.
I bet you're wondering how I ended up on my knees.
Years later, you got the Gumball ones. Gumball ones went hard too.
Oh yeah, kids are gonna grow up like brainwashed into thinking that Nicole is hot.
Yeah, brainwashed.
I'm gonna beat your meat.
gonna beat my meat.
Gonna beat my meat. My Little Pony. That's another thing I'm glad a lot of kids grew up with because they like dead ass.
Dead ass.
That's it. I don't remember what the context was, but I was thinking about friendship today, and
when you not, let's be honest.
It was really weird because it was like I think I was talking to Alex yesterday, and I was like, this is gonna sound really weird to you, but I miss Tiago, and he was like, why? And I was just like,
don't think I didn't hear that.
Shut up. And I was just like, it's because like the last time we hung out in person was when the three of us went out to eat. And he was like, oh, well, why haven't you hung out? And I was like, well, he's just been busy, and I understand that, so I try not to bother him a lot. But, like, as a brony, I'm hurting inside.
I wouldn't call myself that.
But it's just, like, as a brony, it hurts inside to not see my friends. Because that show instilled, like, even though I was way past the age of learning.
You're codependent on me.
I am. Yeah.
You are nothing without me.
Absolutely. My lord. My king.
Suck me off.
Sultan. There we go. I forgot the word. I'm just like, I don't know. I was way past the age of like needing cartoons to learn stuff. But even though we make a whole lot of jokes about like, who needs a school of friendship? That show taught me a lot about like friendship and how a lot of the shit I was doing was not okay. Like bullying that girl with the Slenderman story. That was not okay.
I don't know why you did that. I told you, like in the moment, stop doing it. And you just kept doing it.
It was like, and then he sneaks into your room. She's like, ah, and you were like, stop.
And her mom had to intervene, bro.
And it's crazy because it's like, I don't know. I guess I just didn't really know how to interact with friends because I never really had a real friend before that, except for Liam. Hey, Liam, if you see this, somehow, I remember you. You were a good friend. I'll never forget the time we had that sleepover. Did I tell you the story about the sleepover? Well, everyone gets to hear the story about the sleepover before we end the podcast. Liam was my best friend before Diego. He was a small white kid that I met at school. Very small. His name was Liam. And
why would you fully government him?
I'll take his last name out. Don't worry about it.
Liam redacted.
Liam criminal. I remembered his name because I was like, oh, your name backwards is male. And he was like, okay.
Wow, you can spell.
Yeah, we hated each other. Like, absolutely despised
That's how the best friendship start.
Yeah, we despised each other's guts. I don't know why I hated him. I was like, I don't like you. And he's like, I don't like you either. And I was like, man, you suck.
See, that's all because of deep-rooted racism.
Yes. My grandma taught me to hate white people. This is true.
Lesson learned.
100%. You can fact check me on this. No. And it was crazy because one day, and this is how I could tell I was going to be a brony one day, I was just sitting in after school. Liam was over there drawing. I was doing my own thing. I was bored. I had no one to talk to because my friend had left at that point. And I looked at him and I was like, why do I hate him? There's no reason to hate him. Like, he's literally done nothing to me. I just don't like him because he's popular, I guess.
Well, I'm sure that was a good reason for me hating a lot of people in high school.
Yeah, he was just popular with the girls in 5th grade, so I was... No, this was 4th grade. No, 5th. Yeah, 5th grade.
The darn elementary school popular kids.
Yeah, so I literally just walked up to him, and no, it was 4th grade. He was in a different class. I was like, hey, Liam. He was like, what do you want? I'm like, why do we not like each other? Like, I don't know. And I was like, do you want to start over? He was like, sure. And I was like,
sure, bro.
He's like, hey, I'm Brandon. I like to draw. That's a really good drawing. He's like, oh, thanks. I like to draw in my free time.
Did you know your name spelled backwards is male?
And then he beat my ass. And I shit you not, this is how I remember this story for years. The millisecond we made up, it started snowing outside.
The Wendigos went away.
I was like, God... It's a sign. So we were like friends for years after that. Well, we were friends for a year. Because...
Years? Well, a year.
Because we stopped hanging out at the 6th grade academy because we all had like different things to do. Did you go to the 6th grade academy?
I went to 6th grade.
No, there was an academy in Marietta specifically for 6th graders.
I went to McCluskey.
Ew.
You don't know what that is.
I don't. I almost called you Lance. Sorry. So in the 5th grade, I was like, hey mom, can I have a sleepover at Liam's house? And I was scared to ask her because...
No, you had fun yesterday. You can't have fun today.
No, it's not because of that. It's because he fucked up a lot of shit for me. Because he would go out and do some stupid shit. So mom was like, I don't want you to do that. So I was like, can I go over to his house? And she was like, I don't care. And I was like, Yash! Yash! We gotta have a sleepover, Liam. Yash! And I remember that night so vividly. We went to a place called Mellow Mushroom, a pizza place. And we got these...
Why are you saying it as if I don't know what Mellow Mushroom is?
Because they don't know what Mellow Mushroom is.
How? Everyone's heard of Mellow Mushroom.
Is it a nationwide thing?
I don't know. I just know it's a pizza joint.
I mean, they might not have them in Wisconsin or wherever the fuck Sweetie lives. This is directly at you, Sweetie, by the way.
Not anyone else, I guess.
Nope, specifically you, Sweetie. You are British. So we went to Mellow Mushroom, and then we brought the pizza home. We had these huge boxes, and Liam had 3 dogs, 1 Chihuahua and 2 like smaller ones. I can't remember the other ones. Yeah. We have to go eat after this. I'm starving. So
same. I'm eating today.
So
all my friends and just moaning when they don't have anything to say.
I have something to say. It's just moaning helps me get my mind back on track. It's an ADHD thing. Don't worry about it. Me in the middle of class. So then in 1943, America dropped the bombs on.
Are we just gonna not say anything about that?
I mean, he got the question right. Fuck you, Mr. Davenport. And then we slapped the fuck out of Zach. But anyway, so it was just a fun night, and I guess since I had this freedom now, I was like, ooh, I can try things that I'm not allowed to do at home. So, the big dog's name was Marley. That's important to the story. Well, I say big dog. It was a Chihuahua. I remember laying in bed. I was too afraid. I was too afraid to use the top bunk because he had a fan on that he had to sleep with it on. Yeah, so we slept in the same bottom bunk.
That explains a lot.
You can tell I was going to be a brony one day. So anyway. So anyway, I look over at the clock and it's 12 o'clock exactly. I'm just like, Liam. He's like, what? He's like, it's 12 o'clock. It's like,
congratulations, you can read the clock.
We can get a midnight snack now.
What is it? I hate you. You know that?
Look, I was in 5th grade.
I don't care.
Okay. When you say 5th grade, it makes it sound a lot worse than it is. I was around 8.
8 is like 4th grade.
9.
9 is like either ending 4th or beginning 5th.
So it had to be around the ending of 4th.
I say for 8-year-old, you're definitely like.
Yes, because we told this story all throughout the 5th grade. Back when that kid with the peanut head was having an asthma attack. We used to call him Pinome because he looked like one of the characters from the Proud Family movie. You did tell me that one, yeah. Which, after rewatching the movie, I realized they're not called Pinomes, they're just called genomes. I don't know where we got the P from. I guess because they look like peanuts. But regardless, so he's just like, Brandon, do you really want to get a midnight snack? I'm like, yeah, I've never done that before. He's like, okay. Now, it's late at night, and we have a dog gate. You walk into the house, there's a living room, and there's a corridor.
Like knee-high gates to prevent the dogs from
going and it has a dog gate. Bedroom, bathroom, another bedroom. No, another closet. I don't know what it was. I think it was just a bathroom and bedroom. So we sneak over the gate, and we sneak into the kitchen and turn on the light above the stove. There's 3 big boxes of pizza there. We're just like, oh, this is going to be so cool. We're going to sneak food. Yes, this is what teens do. We're teenagers. And no,
you were not.
No, we weren't. So anyway, we open the box, right? And we're just like, all right, we're just going to get a slice. I'm sorry. I thought about doing it and I laughed. So we're just like, all right, we're going to get a slice of pepperoni. I'll get some cheese. Those dogs start barking. And Liam's like, shh, Marley, quiet, Marley. And he turns around to look at me. And I'm gone. I kid you not. My little fat black legs have never carried me so goddamn far.
I'm telling you, no one is faster than a black man when he hears a random barking dog, bro. No one is faster than a black man after hearing a barking dog.
Bro, I jumped that fucking dog gate like I was in the 100-meter dash. I was like, no. I jumped that hurdle. I jumped into bed and I closed my eyes. I was just like, just knocked out.
I was a good boy. I was asleep.
Yeah, I was asleep the whole time. And while I'm lying there pretending to sleep, I hear his parents, Liam, what are you doing? It's 12 o'clock. You have school tomorrow. Me and Brandon wanted some pizza.
You were allowed to sleep over on a school night?
Yeah.
Dang.
Because my mom was like, oh, they can just bring you to school tomorrow, or you can ride the bus from their house. And she was like, what are you doing? It's 12 o'clock. You have school tomorrow. He's like, well, me and Brandon wanted some pizza. Well, then where's Brandon?
I think there's a reason why you guys stopped talking.
And I'm just lying there, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, Liam. I didn't know. I'm so sorry. So then she's like, just go to bed, Liam. Don't worry about it. We'll take Marley in the room. So he comes in the room. I can feel him just staring at me as I'm like, as I'm just like facing the wall, pretending to sleep.
I mean, to be fair, I probably would have done the same thing, but also like, that's cold. Like,
so anyway, the IRS?
Yeah.
Unavailable. It's probably a scam. Okay, so anyway, he gets in the bed, and according to him, I don't know this. Apparently, I'm a very active sleeper. At some point in the middle of the night, I kicked him off the bed, and I took the whole bed. So he was like, I'm just not going to wake him up. Not after what happened. So he took the covers off of me and he just wrapped himself up on the floor. I
think there's a reason why you gotta stop hanging out. Just saying.
Oh, absolutely. So anyway, I like wake up. I'm like, why am I cold? So all of a sudden, boom, the lights just come like flicking on. Like, boom. He's like, good morning. The parents are like, good morning. And the dog just come in and attack him while he's laying on the bed. I say attack, but they were like licking his face and all that. But it's pretty much the same thing. He's just like, oh gosh. He was like, did you sleep great? I was like, yeah, I slept amazing.
Bet you did. Bet you did.
He was like, yeah, I bet you fucking did, you cotton picker.
Cotton picking porch monkey.
You cotton picking porch monkey.
Damn moon cricket.
Fucking jigaboo.
School.
He gets really close up in my face. Spear chucker.
Lion chaser. Elephant hunter.
Long dick.
Big nose having.
Big lip having. Big mouth character looking. Alright, but yeah, that was the story of the sleepover, and I went to school the next day, and I was telling the story of how...
We never saw him again.
I was telling the story of how great the sleepover was. Liam was just like, yeah, it was great. It was great. I'm never sleep. Now that I think about it, I don't think he really liked me all that much. I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't like myself back then either.
Yeah, I didn't either. Like you or myself.
Yeah, but I basically trapped you, so you're stuck here now. My door is locked. You can't get out.
You groomed me into a friendship.
Yeah, I'm about to put you in the basement down with Sweetie. Oh yeah, that's the channel lore. Sweetie just lives in my basement.
Consensually?
Yeah. I went to her house, knocked her out, brought her back here, chained her up in the basement, and I was like, you can either be good, or you can't, or you can disobey me.
You heard that thing where it's just like, the dude just like, you little pussy is mine.
Little pussy is mine.
You got that kid.
I just walked down there as I'm walking downstairs. Damn, girl queen pussy boss. That fart you ripped just now? Absolutely heavenly. Can I kiss you on the mouth?
What?
I'll show you when we're done. Basically like that. But yeah, she's in the basement, and then one day, like after weeks of feeding her gourmet meals and all of that, well, I say feed her. She's chained up to the wall, like arms up. But I bring the food down there and I just place it in front of her. I'm like, if you can grab it,
great type shit, bro.
I'm just like, if you can grab it, you can eat it. I only stayed down there one time long enough to see the crazy shit she did with her feet to reach the food. And I was like, damn, you're flexible. But anyway, one day I just took the chains off and I was like, all right, the door's unlocked. Leave if you want. I did that 3 months ago and she's still just there. I still take her food and drinks down. She just doesn't leave.
Very vivid imagination you got there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagination.
Yeah. Vivid imagination.
See, the difference between you and Sweetie is that the door behind us right now is locked. And I'm about to let loose the most wicked of braps. So is there anything you want to say to the beautiful dream to the beautiful tube tech students before you go down to the basement with Sweetie?
No.
That's what I thought. So yeah, thank you guys for coming to the cabin. Thank you guys for coming to the cabin for another Just Talk podcast. Next guest is gonna be Night of Breath. Finally,
I like how we started talking about kids cartoons. In the middle, we just started talking about just being emotionally vulnerable, and we ended with this.
That's because cartoons taught us to be emotionally vulnerable.
And I don't think they taught you to chain people up in your basement.
Yeah, they did. Steven Universe. Remember when Lapis and Jasper fused?
I don't.
Oh. Spoilers for Steven Universe, by the way. Steven Universe taught me that if you're suffering from anxiety, depression, and anger issues, just hug your friends. You'll be fine.
Just force your friends to hug you.
Oh, you'll be 100%. I can't wait for the single person to watch this. Be like, you don't understand the implications of that scene.
I don't think you understand the actual implications of the scene.
Technically, this is not about the hug. It is about being there for him. It's not fixed in one go. It's a steady process. It's just not shown on screen. No, technically, I fucked Mod Pie and came inside her. Technically,
our baby is coming in 9 months.
Well, technically, she fucked me. I am a bottom. That's cool, but I don't remember asking, Mudbriar.
Technically.
Fuck it. Technically, you asked me how my day was going, and I told you what me and your sister did hours before I came to see you. Wow, that was
great, honey. You remembered all that in vivid detail.
Wow, that was great, honey. You remember that all in vivid detail.
Now, what's my birthday?
Technically, you were not born. Now, go make me a sandwich. I'm not gonna make you a sandwich. Technically, the woman was made to say. My Little Pony taught me that sexism was okay. Alright, thanks for coming out, Tube Tech students. With that being said, leave a comment down below letting me know what you would like to see us do next. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified of the next time we upload an episode of the Just Talk podcast. Don't forget to join the server and donate to the Patreon to help How to Tube and Dare come out sooner. So with that being said, until next time, we will see you in the revival of Pokemon Academy Life.
No, we won't. How are you gonna cut it out?
Oh, yes, you will.